How's it going, everybody? Mr. Holton here. And just because you guys seem to like that Mass Effect hot takes video that I made the other day, today we're gonna do another one, but we're gonna do a Starfield hot takes video. Why not start off with Kala Elizabeth? Starfield is everything Mass Effect should not be. Now, I took a sneak peek on this before, and I was pretty unsure about what Callum meant here. I gotta read some more. It's hard to explain, but I see the two compared so often, but Starfield has a very sanitized and realistic looking aesthetic that goes against Mass Effect's fantasy element. ME also focuses on experiencing other alien cultures, hyped for SF, but I don't want it to feel like Mass Effect. Now, I'm sort of inclined to agree with Cal a little bit here. As much as I can see several different elements that might have inspired Starfield, from Mass Effect, I don't necessarily want it to be Mass Effect, of course, because it is a Bethesda game after all. I mean, Todd even said that it's gonna be Skyrim in space, so I guess we should just expect that. That British chap, if there's no robot romance companion, then the game is permanently an 8 out of 10 Todd Howards for me. He's joining in on that Edie train, because I'm a huge fan of Edie from Mass Effect, and I sort of wish that she was a romanceable squad mate. But yeah, I kind of agree there. Not really that it would be an 8 out of 10 necessarily. But yeah, that would be cool. Official Cosmic Spartan. It's going to be another Skyrim and be milked for the next 20 years. I think we all know that. And Joe Sheesty returns, saying Starfield will not only win Game of the Year, but it will also become the biggest single-player game ever, both in terms of player engagement and overall size. The gameplay loop is designed to keep you constantly exploring and interacting with the new elements, and let's not forget about modding. You sound pretty sure there, Joe. A lot of you guys who are gonna watch this video are probably gonna be very sure of that as well. I mean, that is still up in the air. I'm not entirely sure it's gonna win Game of the Year, but it seems like it's gonna be one of those Game of the Year contenders. I wouldn't guarantee it right off the bat because we have a few heavy hitters this year. So yeah, that's it's definitely gonna have some tough competition, but if Todd Howard and Bethesda delivers on what we saw in the showcase, the Starfield Direct, then possibly, yeah. Alex Poole, everyone who will be playing this game, including me, will build their ships based on pop culture. Yeah, that's probably true. Roy, knowing that Bethesda are behind Starfield makes me instantly not care for whatever it claims it has to offer. Ooh, that's actually a pretty spicy one. Roy does not like Bethesda. The Rogue Warlord looks really good. I don't like Bethesda games, so I won't ever pick it up. Another one, I'm more happy watching console warriors argue over the game than me playing it. God damn, he's probably talking about the PS5 versus Xbox battle going on. That's been going on since the dawn of time. And, well, okay, Warlord, okay. Wherever you get your entertainment from, it's fine. Monty, there are going to be a lot of phallic spaceships. Another reference, of course, towards Tears of the Kingdom, which featured a lot of, well, you know. Philip, the main reason I'm excited about the game is all the Star Wars mods that will undoubtedly get made. I'm definitely looking forward to the base game, but the modding potential for Star Wars stuff will be huge. Oh, absolutely, and Mass Effect. I'm so looking forward to if somebody will be able to build a Star Destroyer. That would be so badass. I really hope that is the case. But yes, the modding community for Starfield is obviously going to be massive. Could possibly be the biggest modding community ever made. I mean, with the scale of the game and all that. Starfield copied Mass Effect. Matthew Peanut. Nah. I mean, it probably borrowed some elements. That's fine. That we like. Joe Jits. It's just the Star Wars ripoff. Again, it's probably borrowing some elements from it for sure. But come on, you know, you could say that basically about any space game, that it's just a Star Wars copy or a Mass Effect copy, but because technically, I mean, Mass Effect is literally built from the idea of Star Wars from when BioWare were making Star Wars games. So, you know. And now, just because I don't want you guys to feel left out on YouTube, as I mentioned, I also started a community post on YouTube. So let's check out what your hot takes are, guys. Jeez, that's a lot of comments. Game Sater Gaming 1321, is that how you say it? I love the concept. To me, Bethesda is aiming to make players feel like actual space explorers. Yeah, that really does seem like the idea. I mean, with Constellation and everything, absolutely. And the fact that we even, you know, in Starfield, it seems like you have not encountered intelligent alien races before. So I really hope that is a thing that we actually do in the game, because that would make me so happy. You know, as I've talked about before, you know, I would really like to see a form of like the first contact war, or like a first contact situation, like what we never got with Mass Effect. That would be awesome. And to be an actual explorer in a universe that is filled with handcrafted content, yes, absolutely. Awesome HP T8938. I want to believe this is a good game, but Bethesda's reputation as of late has been tarnished by the buggy, messy games they've made recently and the false promises they've made. I'm not joining the hype train on this one until we see more. Okay, that's 12 up, dudes. I guess that seems to be a sentiment that's relatively popular. Well, I mean, I can't really speak too much on the matter. I just know that like Fallout 76 was basically a catastrophe. I never played it because I could just watch from a distance how broken that game was upon launch. And the thing is, what I'm used to when it comes to Bethesda is usually that their games are relatively buggy, but I've never really had any issues with Fallout 3, Skyrim, Oblivion, Fallout 4. Like, I've never had any real technical issues. I've always just had a couple of bugs here and there, and they didn't really bother me too much. But then again, I've also seen the amount of broken games that people have, you know, when they're playing through their version of the games. So I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, and I totally understand why some people are not joining the hype train, because yeah, there's a reason why there's this meme of Todd with Sweet Little Lies and all that, and why it's so huge. Because a lot of people simply feel that way. Gate 7 Clamp. If it's exactly how it was advertised, we could be playing this game for years on end, exploring different worlds and making great discoveries, and I will have an epic space adventure in September, but the one big hurdle that stands in its way is its creators. Bethesda has a lot of bugs. Honestly, I would be insulted if this game didn't have glitches or bugs, but I have it on Game Pass, so I'm just gonna wait and see. You would be insulted if the game didn't have any bugs? Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty, you know, normal standard, I guess, so it would be a little bit odd. Probably would be a little less fun if there were no bugs. I think you can expect some. Sky Ranger. If the devs deliver everything they promise, then this game will change gaming history forever. That's a take that I keep seeing a lot of. And I mean, looking at the scope of the game and looking at everything that they are telling you that you can do and that we've seen from the showcase, I mean, it's not surprising really that people are expecting this. The only thing that I think is the problem is the possibility of there being, as we all know, as we've mentioned, it's the worry about the technical limitations, right? How reliably can we actually trust what they're saying? Because in the showcase, right, we see that it's cut between so many different possibly saves or playthroughs. It's been a lot of speculation on that, so I'm not going to say that it's entirely confirmed, but that seems to be the case. So we don't really, you know how stable it's going to be upon launch. There is a lot of potential for sure, and if they actually deliver on everything we've seen with the Direct, then yeah, absolutely, for sure. It's going to set a completely new standard for space games. It's going to put the people behind Star Citizen to shame. Holy crap, dude. Dookie Man, can't wait for that 100 gig day one patch. Don't disappoint me with this. Yeah, I don't think that patch is going to be 100 gigs. It's probably going to be some, I don't know, something realistic, maybe 50. Samurai Lemon, Starfield has a very good chance of winning this generation of consoles for Xbox. This is the kind of game that can become a public sensation outside normal gaming circles, like Halo, The Last of Us, Skyrim even. Not even Mass Effect achieved this really. Starfield is one of those once-in-a-generation games. Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, hopefully. One thing I could imagine Starfield doing is increasing interest for space exploration. One thing that I'm really hoping for is that if this game really lands, like sticks the landing, then yes, if this could like make gaming even bigger and introduce non-gaming fans into gaming, and since it's a sci-fi exploration game that is relatively realistic with this NASA punk theme, that would be hype. That would be incredible if it could like push people to be more interested in space and sci-fi. I'd love that. Considering Bethesda has never had fun functioning vehicles in their games, the space flight will suck and the writing will be worse than Fallout 4's. Shipbuilding will be mid, and the $70 price tag for what will essentially only be good as a modding sandbox will have an even worse launch than Fallout 76 because of all the hype. The delay was a warning sign. Green Ninja with a very spicy take here. Has Bethesda ever had vehicles in their games? I can't remember. I mean, there's a horse in Skyrim. I can't really think of anything else. Shipbuilding will be mid. Oof. I mean, here's the thing. It's either gonna be amazing or the hype is gonna completely kill any momentum for the game. It's one of those situations, right, where people have hyped it over the moon. Bethesda has kind of hyped it over the moon for everybody, but, you know, not without evidence. I mean, we got a 40-minute showcase, so hey. But it has approached and reached sort of No Man's Sky levels, I feel, and the closer we get, I think that's just gonna get worse. So I see what you're saying. Yes, if this crashes, or if it just slightly does not reach the level that people are expecting, then it's going to be a catastrophe for sure. But if it sticks the landing, this could be, as others have pointed out, like it could be a game of the generation for sure. I'm not doubting that, but it's either it's either of these two extremes, right? It's not going to be in the middle. Not a game like this. Quacketh. If Starfield doesn't have alien characters from other planets that can be romanceable like Sugar Mommy, Liara, Sony, and Mass Effect, then I'm out for good. Really drew the line there. Gotta have that blue booty. Zayad. Apo. Starfield will come out buggy as fork like any other Bethesda game, but gamers will play it, like it, forget about its problems, and forgive Bethesda like they do every time. Laughing Rex. Bethesda will then go on and do a Skyrim again by re-releasing Starfield for every platform, and in a different version for the next decade. So I'm hoping that that first scenario does not happen. I mean, some bugs is fine, as we talked about before. And some, you know, bugs just for the sake of hilarity, like when you get smashed by the giant in Skyrim, you go flying up in the stratosphere. Stuff like that is fine. But we all know, yes, they will probably re-release Starfield many times. Frenchie Maple. My greatest fear isn't that it will epically fail. That would entail trying something hard and missing the mark. No, I'm afraid that in order to make sure they don't fail, the game releases as a tasteless, boring gray goo of disappointment. So basically, yes, you see the problem with expectations, that they're so high right now that anything less than the song, the choir of angels, is just going to be considered dog shit. And we have ACV3521. If this game is half as good as they promise, it will absolutely kill Mass Effect for me. No, it won't. That's about it for today. I don't really have time to read all of these comments. There's way too many of them, but thank you to everybody who's replied. This is pretty interesting. There's, yeah, the discussion is just getting warmer and warmer. It's just heating up when it comes to Starfield. And I love reading everything because it just proves that people have such different expectations for the game. But it seems like the general sentiment that most of us are pretty excited, but there's, you know, there's a lot of hesitant people as well, and I completely get that. As always, thank you to all of my members in the Ensvin squad, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want more of these hot takes. Mr. Rolton, signing out.